And we are live at the 2022 Canadian Indoor Singles Championships. I'm Jake Shuknik, once more bringing you some excellent Bulls content. This is the first matchup of the day for the women between Rainbow Lung and Linda Ng. So Rainbow's currently on the mat right now with the purple bowls, and Linda is using the green bowls with even darker green centers. This is the first end of the first set between these women, and the third game overall for them. So, this is Linda's last bowl. She is looking to make a connection on her own from the looks of things, and I think she crashed on one of Rainbow's up front. And so Rainbow is currently holding one. Last bowl to come, just looking to draw around her short ones and see if she can score a deuce. Don't know if she sent that enough, so I think that will just be one to Rainbow to start us off. Here, round 3 for the day, round 1 for the women at the 2022 Canadian Indoor Singles Championships at the Pacific Indoor Bowls Club, PIBC, here in rainy Vancouver, British Columbia. As always, you can find the score standings results on bowlscanada.com on the indoor singles page. Shane, you're going to need to pick someone for who to cheer for who to win. It is a battle of BC. Both of these players have been here before. Both of them are tremendous competitors. Early on for the women, as there's only 10 of them, they only get 9 games in their round robin, but after 2 games, it looks like Rainbow Lung is 1-1, while Linda is 0-2. So in her first 2 games, Rainbow played Janet Watson from Saskatchewan and lost the first set 5-6, won the next one 12-6, and won in the tiebreak 6-2. And then came up against a ferocious Josephine Lee and lost that 5-9 the first set. She did win the second set 7-6, but then lost the tiebreak 5-zip. So she's 1-1 is Rainbow, while Linda played Jan Robinson from Alberta and lost in straight sets 9-3, 6-4, and then played Bobby Jean Charlton, the reigning women's champ, and she won the first set 13-7, lost the next set 15-1, and then lost the tiebreak 3-1. So Linda's still searching for her first win, and Rainbow's looking to improve her 1-1 record. And I'll reiterate it that Linda Ng is using the green bowls, which is currently holding 1 right now in front of the jack, while Rainbow has purple bowls, which she has one way wide and short and one just behind the jack. And so Linda's looking to find a friend, doesn't quite find it, but it's not a bad spot, a couple feet behind the jack. That will come in useful later, I'm sure. See if that guideline out there is a good guide for Rainbow, as her one short bowl is kind of a reference mark really for where to draw from. And she's just tickled the jack on her way through, but not enough to make much difference. Safe bet there, Shane, to cheer for Rob. I had the pleasure of talking to him yesterday and today. He's a very friendly, super nice guy. I will also cheer for Rob. In his words, if you can't be here, you might as well be a marker because it's the best of you in the house. see if Linda can make the adjustment from her last one. She just missed it on her way through, and this time she will find a friend. And that will be good for 2 for Linda at the moment, with 1 bowl left from Rainbow, but she's going to come down and take a look and scope it out. I don't see much more than a trail right now for, sorry, much more than a draw for Rainbow. That is a very difficult trail to get back to her other purple. I don't see driving at that much, so it's really just a wide open draw. If she were to come down and rest Linda's last bowl, that might be good enough for 1. Top stuff. I'll be sure to tell him, Shane, that you're critiquing his toucher spraying technique and that it has earned the title of top stuff. I don't know what is higher or lower than that, but that is currently his rating for marking touchers. So both of these players are very familiar with the PIBC, both of them from BC, both of them played in this event before. I'm expecting this to be a very close match, is my early prediction after 1 end of play, and Rainbow just found some holes, missing everything on her way through. Big opportunity here for Linda. She can pop a 4 if she can just find her last bowl, just a couple feet through onto it to roll that purple through. Or she can play it safe and just go for a cold draw and score 3 out of it. And I think she has chosen the latter, but has come up well short, and that is not going to be in the count, so playing it safe altogether and only scoring 2 here. So that will be 2 to Linda to give her the lead 2-1 and getting her on the scoreboard. There will be no goose eggs here in this first set. Shane, I'm going to put you on the spot and say if you had to choose an early prediction of who's going to win this game, who's your money on? Gun to your head, or as the saying goes, if you had to twist your arm, force you to make a prediction. Rainbow or Linda? As a local British Columbian, you might have more insight knowledge than the rest of us. From where I'm sitting, it looks like a couple of Henselite bowls, which does not surprise me. I'm actually wondering if Rainbow might be using a Drake's Pride. As Vince Mai is the Henselite distributor for Canada, I am not surprised that there are a lot of Henselite bowls here. Linda coming up a little bit short and a touch narrow as well. Leaving the door open for Rainbow to see if she can capitalize on it. I could not agree more. Shane, come on down here and join me on the commentary. I could also make the same comment to you, Vanessa, that you should maybe play hooky from work and come down and join me on the commentary. You are no stranger to it, having done it before. I do recall having you in the commentator's booth previously. Great bowl there from Linda. She's drawing around Rainbow's bowl. Numero uno. The Masked Assassin. That is a much narrower line Rainbow's taking right now, so unless she has a bunch of weight to hold it, I don't think that that's going to be what she's wanting. That is going to dive in front of everything, and not going to be super useful as it doesn't have the weight to be a good back bowl either. Don't think Linda needs to change a whole lot from her last bowl. She can still draw around or come underneath if she really wanted to. But she seems confused. Took a step off the mat, looking to the side, not quite sure what shot she's going to play here. Ah, thanks for actually giving us a Early prediction, Shane. I didn't know if you were going to chime in or not. Going to go with Rainbow as his early prediction. That she's very consistent, and Linda can break your heart with accuracy, but Rainbow has so much experience in big games. Interesting. We will see if that plays true. Thanks for humoring me on giving us an early prediction. Vanessa, I could also ask you, who do you think is going to win? Early prediction. Looks like Linda's switching hands here, which I'm not entirely sure why. I get that there are her bowls that she could knock in if she wanted to, but after playing 3 on the forehand, switching to the backhand for your last one is an interesting choice. But it worked. Far be it from me to critique something if it's going to work, so she's good for 2 at the moment. Looks like Rainbow's playing with a little bit of weight here. I think she's trying to either bump hers in or grab the jack on her way through. And so bumping hers in she will, but bumped it way too far. And that's for sure 2 green, 2 to Linda for sure, but I'm wondering if she brought in those other ones. This could almost be a 3 or a 4 for Linda after Rainbow just knocked her closest bowl out. Yikes. Rainbow's taking a look. Kicked out 2 immediately. Then let Linda take a look. And we might be putting a tape to it. Taping done. Rob's updating the scoreboard before coming down, so that'll make life easy for me to say that it was actually a 3 for Linda. 1, 2, 3 to go up 5-zip. Sorry, 5-1 after 3 ends of play. So off to an early start is Miss Linda Ng. I will say that I am a big fan of Linda's personality. As soon as I walked through the door, she found me and said, "Hey, nice to see you again. Heard you got married, congrats," and was super friendly and personable, so absolutely love that personality. But as Shane alluded to, she can be a heartbreaker on the greens. So far off to a 5-1 start. That bowl has a bit of a wobble as it's coming down, and the color of the green bowl with the darker center running surface makes it that much more apparent if there's a wobble. And as always, if you want to check out the scores or results or standings, head on over to bowlscanada.com and under events, go to the Indoor Singles Championships and scroll down the page to find the standings link. So Linda had a pretty good well-weighted bowl, about an inch short, and Rainbow has a slightly better line, but is a good 1.33 past, almost 1.5 meters past the jack. We'll see if Linda's made any sort of an adjustment here. She's definitely a touch heavier. It's a pretty good line too, as it almost finished back on the center line. That's okay, Shane. I appreciate your comments anyway. Enjoy the work meeting. Unfortunately, I cannot do sign language to still communicate with you while I'm muted. That is a close second. I think it is still Linda for 1 at the moment. But that is a close second. And on either side of this rank, on the left, we have Bobby Jean Charlton against Louise St. John, and Bobby Jean's up 8-0 after 3. And then on the right, Joanna Cooper is up 8-0 over Jan Robinson, also after 3. So 8-0 and 8-0 on either side of this game. And there's a beautiful bowl from Linda. Great adjustment. I believe that would make her good for 2 at the moment. Rainbow walked around to take a look, but still think it's just sticking to that forehand draw. If you need to trail it, so be it. Gave it a chance. Did she send it? Did she send it? No, she didn't. Still need a couple feet more. Has the line down pat, just needs to get the weight. I don't think Linda needs to change much of anything. She has an opportunity to tuck it away for 4, though. If she adds a foot, she can tuck it in behind, be lying 4, and make it very difficult for Rainbow to get to. So, again, another big opportunity for Linda. And that's exactly what she was going for, and just a touch on the high side. Didn't want to finish in time, but that was a great effort. Beautiful weight for the shot she was going for. Little jack movement could have been good for 4, so another big opportunity she just couldn't quite capitalize on. Leaving the door open for Rainbow to come down and draw it cold. Rest her bowl if she needs to. If she's a touch tight, she might be able to get a rub off of her front ones to keep coming. Lots of options here for Rainbow, and based off of her last one, her weight is marginally close. Add 1.5 feet, and she's there. That looks to be a much wider line than what she took before. I'm curious if that'll come all the way back. It is trying. She added much more weight. And just about all the way came back to the center line. Just a bowl on the left and 2.5, 3 feet past, so not enough to draw her off cold the way she was hoping for. That will be for sure 1 to Linda, possibly 2. Picked up the jack right away, no measure necessary. So very apparent to the 2 of them, whatever it was. I'll put 1 for now, and we'll see what Rob puts up on the scoreboard. So it actually was 2 there for Ms. Linda Ng. That'll give her a quick 7-1 lead after 4 ends. So she's already got a 6-point lead, 5 ends left in this first set. Linda's starting off this end on her forehand. And that looks to be a pretty good opening bowl. Bingo. Can't ask for much better than that for your opening bowl. Rainbow's going to follow her down, also on her forehand, as these 2 players are both right-handed players. But based off of the bowl she's using, it looks like Rainbow's bowls have a wider draw, wider bias, so that means she's going to need to take much more grass than Linda will. It is interesting to see how Linda grips the bowl. It's almost palm on the side as opposed to palm underneath, which might be why there's a bit of a wobble to it when it comes out, but it's clearly effective, as we have another good position bowl coming in here now. Yeah, it's a pretty good place to be. Rainbow is still trying to draw it off, but I don't know if she gave it enough juice. Just coming up short and underneath. So still 1 to Linda right now. But because her last one was past the jack, she now has an opportunity where she could trail it, tuck it behind. Lots of opportunities here for her to just keep drawing in. And so Linda is trying to tuck it in behind, and she does touch it a little bit, but doesn't quite bury it. So it's still very visible, very seeable from the mat here. Rainbow wasting no time getting on the mat, saying, I'm coming down here with authority to shake things up. Because her bowls have such a wide bias, that makes it extra tricky to play that swinger weight, though. And so, yeah, she's gotten on the high side. The weight she's playing for is looking to grab the jack or the bowl on her way through, but the swingy shot, through the head shot, is very tricky on a 16-second green, especially when you have a wide biased bowl. So Linda, what do you do now? Do you try to bury it even further, change up the look? That does look like a pretty big target. Or do you go for some security and go for the tee? There is Rainbow's back bowl that just flopped over right now. That is the best back bowl, but I don't think Linda's going for it. I think she's continuing to pile them in. Just piling them in. Who cares how big of a target it makes? Force Rainbow to make it. Look at that. In the Battle of Saskatchewan on Rink 2, Lois Koss is up 4-zip over Janet Watson after 4 ends. Rainbow is switching hands, looking to promote hers into the head, and she has got a couple. I don't know if that made much of a difference. It's still probably a couple green bowls there that are counting. They are taking a look, not going to measure. Linda just picks it up and away we go. That was 3 for Linda, according to the scoreboard. So 10-1 after 5. Is the commentary not coming through? I apologize if I'm a little too quiet. With nobody here to talk to, it does make it difficult to have a conversation going. Apologies there. Miss Sue. And so Linda's going to get us starting here, 10-1, playing the 6th end of this first set. And her first bowl is about 2 feet past the jack. Rainbow is also following her down on her forehand and is touch on the high side and a touch heavy. So her bowl will end up about 3 feet past the jack and 3 feet wide. Linda's looking to make a bit of an adjustment here, and she has grabbed the jack but didn't quite get it clean enough, so it's still fairly wide open. Rainbow is looking to draw this off, and she is inside. Will it hold up enough? Nope, diving underneath. So currently 2 shots right now to Linda Ng with a 10-1 lead. She is just putting on the pressure to Rainbow to see if she can make any sort of a difference, change things around before this set is done. Here she goes with her third bowl. Tracking nicely. It looks like she's added a bit more weight though this time. And she is going around Rainbow's bowl to come right back to cover the tee. Wow. If that was her intent, that was a great shot. Ended up in a good place. See if Rainbow can cut it down to 1 or draw it off clean this time with her third bowl. Not quite. Still think it's too green. Linda's having a good look here, and I'm not quite sure why. It is still very doable to draw underneath Rainbow's last bowl. But I think she's going to switch hands here now. Yeah, she will. We will see if she can draw in another. Currently holding 2. And she has come up short and narrow, so switching hands did not benefit her with her last bowl. But it might have forced Rainbow to switch hands as well here now, so that makes things a little bit more tricky. Forcing your opponent to switch hands with their last one is usually a good idea. And Rainbow looks narrow, so she's going to need a friend or a rub, but she didn't give it enough juice for it to matter anyway, so that'll be 2 more to Linda Ng to make it 12-1 after 6. So this set is quickly slipping away. $11 points, 3 to go. Rainbow basically needs to get perfect ends the rest of the way. And I may have spoke too soon about it being 2. They kicked out 1 and they're taking a good look. They might actually put a measure to this. They will. That is a unique towel that Rainbow has. It's both a towel to dry your bowl and also carries measures. There's a pocket in it too. That is interesting. Linda has wedges already in her pocket, so she's wedging the bowl. I will subtract 1 in case it is only 1. I think Linda's favoring her green bowl. They're calling an umpire. Umpires are currently being used on rink 3, so I'm not sure how long they're going to... Dudley Knox on his way down here to measure. Giving the marker his giant calipers that are not needed and is continually wedging a bowl here. Looking around at other scores, it looks like Joanna Cooper is currently up 10-1 over Jan Robinson, Battle of Alberta on the rink to the right. Jan's using blue bowls, I believe. 10-1 after 5. And then on the rink on the left, Bobby Jean Charlton's up 15-1 over Louise St. John. BC dominating the Ontarian. And then further on down, I can see that the Manitoban Jillian McMurtry has 4 points, while Josephine Lee currently, after 6 ends, I believe she has 4 as well. Sorry, she has 5, so Josephine Lee's up 5-4 over Jillian McMurtry. And further on down, the Battle of Saskatchewan, Lois Koss is up 8-zip over Janet Watson after 6 ends of play. Take this pause to quickly thank the Government of Canada through Sport Canada for supporting all of our national championships, as well as our other partners and sponsors, the Event Connect accommodation supplier that we use this year, and others are medals and awards supplier, and Kukri, our clothing supplier. So that was just 1 for Linda, so it's now 11-1 after 6. So there are 3 ends to go with a 10-point lead. So Rainbow needs to score a 3, a 3, and a 4 to tie the set before it's too late. And so Linda basically just needs to count here to secure the set. And it's a pretty good opening bowl to be a couple feet past the jack, almost back on the center line. Rainbow's first bowl is just resting Linda through. Also a couple feet through the head. Linda's second bowl looks to be on a really good line. All comes down to the weight from here. Coming in nicely. Rob's walking forward to see if he needs to get the chalk ready. He doesn't, but that's a great shot bowl. And Rob is informing Rainbow that Linda's last bowl is 5 inches behind the jack. So that means Rainbow can rest it, play it through, draw it off cold if she wanted to, but with her wide bending bowls, I don't know how drawing it off would work. I think she is going to need to rest her through, and this looks narrow. Don't think she gave it enough weight either. Consistency plays off here, so we'll see if Linda can roll another bowl into the head and put some pressure on Rainbow that screws the nails into the coffin here for this first set. And this looks close here again. Linda in. Great shooting. What a caterpillar. Holy smokes. Beautiful bowling. Rainbow still just looking to draw it off though, and she has come up narrow again and still doesn't quite have the weight to get there, so not much of an improvement from her last one. Shane, I don't know enough markers to argue with you on that, but it is very possible that Rob could be the best marker in BC. Certainly the friendliest that I've talked to here so far this week. Linda turned around right away and did not like that, but that actually ended up in a really good spot to take away the drive. I don't know if Rainbow was considering throwing weight at that, but that was a good nuisance bowl to take any thought of driving at that out of her head. So back to the draw she goes, and this is the best line she's had so far, but I still don't think she gave it enough juice. Yeah, it's still not quite there. So that'll be a couple green bowls to Linda Ng, which means she has already secured the set. 13-1, up and back. So with a 12-point lead, the set is in the bag. And so now they get 2 practice ends, as the plus-minus, the differential still matters when it comes to tie-breaking. So still looking to score as many points as you can, just to make sure that if you are tied with someone and you have the same number of set points, set wins, that your shots for and against will make a difference. So with 2 ends of practice here, we are talking about practice. Linda is coming up about a 1.5 foot short and a 1.5 foot narrow. Rainbow still struggling to find it, find that touch, find that feeling, find that groove. Weight is in the ballpark, but about 2 feet on the wide side. Linda's looking to make an adjustment by adding a foot and taking a foot more grass, and she has done a little more weight adjustment than line adjustment, I would say. 3 feet through, 10 inches wide. Rainbow looking to change things up on her second bowl, make sure she for sure has one, as right now it's probably a measure, but Rainbow's going to tickle the jack on her way through. She will take it with her. And so that will be 1 purple shot at the moment. We'll see if that makes any sort of a difference to Rainbow's game, if she can get her mojo going now that she's got a toucha. Down on rink 2, Janet Watson has gotten on the board against Lois Koss. It is now 8-2 after 7 in that matchup. And on rink 3, it looks like Josephine Lee is up 6-4 after 7 against Jillian McMurchie. Meanwhile, Bobby Jean Charlton is still up 18-1 after 7 against Louis St. John. And Joanna Cooper is currently beating Jan Robinson. 10-4 is what it looks like. Yeah, 10-4 after 7. They're playing their 8th end at the first set. Game at hand here. Rainbow Lung still clinging to that 1 shot in the head. Her second one slipping underneath. I don't know if that's going to be good enough for a second shot or not. But Linda Ng has 1 more bowl to come. We will see if she can take that one away from Rainbow. Playing on her forehand, playing with some weight, it looks like. And that is going to be narrow and miss everything on her way through. That was interesting weight choice. Almost looks like she's trying to keep it on the green. Doesn't reach the ditch, but it does go out of bounds out the side, so it's off the green anyway. See if Rainbow can get some momentum going here. She's currently holding 1, which would be enough to get her the mat back if nothing changes. She is sliding underneath. Weight is in the ballpark. And from here, it looks like it's only 1 purple bowl, as that back green one looks like that second shot to me. Linda quickly takes out 1. I think that's it. Rainbow wants to put a measure to it, though, it looks like. And she will. And it was just 1. (13-2). Last end of the first set coming up. Linda Ng has already won this set, so I will update the scoreboard to reflect that. There we go. Rainbow is asking how far the jack is from the ditch, despite the fact she was the one who placed the mat, rolled the jack. Interesting. Interesting. If you are one of our viewers, feel free to comment in the chat who you are, where you're from, how long you've been bowling for, whether you think Rainbow's going to be able to turn it around in the second set here or not. As her opening bowl is a beauty. 6 inches in front of the jack, bearing it from view, so now Linda cannot see the jack from the mat. But she is trying to draw it off cold. My goodness, look at this. Bam. Bam. Linda Ng on fire. Couldn't see the jack from the mat. Didn't matter anyway. I'll draw a resting toucher off it no matter what. So Linda is feeling it. You would not know that Linda Ng is 0-2 at the moment. Certainly not playing like it, that's for sure. Heartbreaker indeed. Clutch, clutch bowling. I can't say I know Rainbow that well, but I have heard that Linda's been putting in time practicing, trying to get better and better. When I first met her at the indoor singles several years ago, she was asking everyone and anyone, how can I get better? What can I do to improve myself? And it looks like the practice is paying off. I think Rainbow might have been going for a position bowl, something in behind. And it would probably behoove Linda to do the same. The rink on your left in the Battle of Alberta, Joanna Cooper got off to like a 10-1 start, and Jan Robinson has clawed her way back to make it 10-7 going into the final end of the first set. Huge comeback from Miss Robinson. Right you are, Shane. It is interesting with sets. Usually one player dominates the first and the other comes back in the second, and it almost guarantees a tiebreak every time. Which makes me kind of not like sets, if I'm being totally honest. It feels like no matter what, we're going to a tiebreak anyway, so let's just skip that all the fun stuff and just have a 3-end tiebreak to see what happens. Why bother playing the first two? I also find it interesting with sets to look at the plus minus from people afterwards. Earlier this week, there were people with a losing record with a huge positive on the plus minus, and there were people with a winning record with a negative plus minus, which is counterintuitive and kind of confusing that you can be blown out a set, sneak by the second one, and sneak by in the tiebreak, and be negative 10 on the game, but still win the game. One of the many reasons I think I'm more inclined to prefer points over sets. But here we go, set number 2, first end, first bowl. Linda starting us off. Not super close, but not super far either. We'll see if Rainbow can reverse her fortunes from the first set. And her first bowl is coming up almost dead, even on the center line. Meter through. Great adjustment here from Linda. And Shane, I hear ya. One year I played 15 matches and everyone went to a tiebreaker halfway through the season. I just wanted to go straight to the tiebreaker. Yeah, I would too. If it's going to go there anyway, let's save us some time and just get right to it. So it looks like Rainbow has figured out the line here and is just still tinkering away at trying to get the perfect weight. So she shaved off about 6 inches, maybe 8 inches from her first one. Needs to do that another 2 or 3 times before she's going to be on the jack, but her line is right back on the center line, so she's figured that out. Linda is looking to draw another one, maybe get something past the jack. My guess is she was aiming for a back bowl here, which she now has. Not a bad strategy to try to get something back there to match up with Rainbow's. Given this is now 0-0 after 0 in the second set, nobody needs to get greedy yet. You can still just pluck away at getting your draw weight down. But that might have been an oops from Rainbow, as it is coming up wide and well short. 1.5 meters short and 4 feet wide. After playing 2 fairly consistent bowls, something must have slipped there. Something that might be right in Linda's eye, though, so I might say it's a good idea to switch hands here, Linda. That is yours in front on the backhand. And that is exactly what she's doing. Much safer hand to play. Don't need to worry about your weight as you can play through it. Tracking nicely. Will it stop in time? She's found a friend, so that'll stop her. So 2 for sure to Linda right now. Maybe that third one, that front green one, could be close. I don't know. Definitely 2 and a look. Rainbow does the circle and right back she goes. With Rainbow having such a wide drawing bowl, she should probably be able to draw around her front purple one, I would suspect. coming inside that, she's going to need weight to hold her up to do anything, but then you're looking at chipping the jack backwards sideways and not being that much better off, so I think she's probably just going to be drawing around her last short bowl. Prove me wrong entirely, she is switching hands. I don't know what she sees over here. Hoping to come underneath, possibly? Don't know what she was trying to do with that last one, as her wide swooping bowls, if she's coming underneath, is going to be too far inside for that to count, so unsure what the thought process was there. Maybe she saw something from the mat I can't see here, but that will be at least 2 greens to Linda to give Linda the quick lead here in the second set. 2 and a look. 2 and a measure. So it was 3 for Miss Linda Ng. Give her a quick 3-0 lead going into the second end of the second set. Here at the 2022 Canadian Indoor Singles Championships at the Pacific Indoor Bowls Club in Vancouver, British Columbia, the premier bowl-specific indoor facility in the country. The largest and only such facility in the country, as there are 6 rinks here made exclusively for bowls. Qualicum Beach Indoor Club, which I believe is just connected to their clubhouse, has, can't remember if it's 3 rinks. There's a Newmarket Club in Ontario that has, I believe, 2 rinks connected to their clubhouse. They are not regulation size though. And across the rest of the country, I believe everybody else just plays on multi-use surfaces like indoor soccer pitches and whatnot. So this is the only bowl-specific, made-for-bowls, 6-rink facility in the country. This is, of course, our last national championship for 2022. We will be making an announcement over the next few weeks on where and when events will be for 2023, so stay tuned to our website and social media channels. If you have not already, go and like us, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Pick your platform of choice, but Facebook is our primary platform for giving folks updates, and as well subscribe to our newsletter so that way we can drop you a note every week on what's going on bowls-wise across the country. So if you go to bowlscanada.com, there will be somewhere there for you to subscribe, like, maybe even donate if you feel so inclined, as we are charity adjacent and can issue out tax receipts. Help us grow the sport. I would also encourage you to go and have a look through our website at some of the programs and resources that we have on there, as there are not only championship info and conditions of play and all that fun stuff, but there's also information on coaching or officiating or player development, for example. There's also quite a bit of para resources. So in 2021, we started a para pilot for how to introduce people with disabilities to lawn bowls for the first time. And we piloted that at the Commonwealth Club in Edmonton and the Nepean Bowls Club in Ottawa. And we've worked with international experts, and we have some handy-dandy resources now on our website if you're looking to introduce bowls to people with various abilities. whether visually impaired or physically impaired. There is a lot of stuff on your website that you might want to use if you're going to start such a program at your club. And I should also add that everything on our website is in French and English. So if you are one of the French-speaking bowlers from Quebec or elsewhere, then simply toggle French-English on the website to suit the language of your choice. Game at hand here. Rainbow has drawn a nice one in to put some pressure on Linda. After grabbing the quick 3-0 start, Linda's now going to have to draw this off or trail it off to keep counting. Playing on her forehand, it looks like. Drawing well around it. This could be in the neighborhood. Could be in the neighborhood, Miss Linda Ng. Well played. Well played, ma'am. Rainbow is having a good look, leaning right next to the marker, asking the marker, what do you think? So this must be close. I feel like this is probably a good measure. Marker, what do you think? I'll take a look again. I'm still not sure. Now that Rainbow's coming down, Linda's going to swap and take a look herself. I suspect this is a very close measure, which makes it very tricky then for Rainbow to do much about. I would not be surprised if she just steers clear of this. Yeah, Linda's taking a good look. Doing the finger dance as well. Yeah, Rainbow's picked up the mat and is walking down, so she is not touching this at all. I would expect they would just call an umpire right away. Yeah, calling Davey over here. Mr. Davey Matthews about to be popping on the screen here to do the measure. All the way from the Wanda Fuca Lawn Bowls Club. Davey, of course, has been involved with bowls for years beyond count. Team manager for BC year after year after year. In go the wedges. New this year, Dwayne Hawk from Alberta, Calgary, I believe, used a 3D printer to make some custom branded wedges for us, which was pretty unique. Dwayne is a think outside the box kind of guy. He started the Lego Lawn Bowls League. If you're unfamiliar with that, go search it on Facebook. It's a group or a page where he uses Lego figurines to demonstrate bowls things, whether it's ask an umpire, whether it's just making witty jokes. Uses Lego to talk about all things bowls, which is pretty unique. And then also using a 3D printer to make wedges is also pretty impressive. So shout out, kudos to Dwayne for thinking outside the box. So since Rainbow placed the mat, that means Rainbow did count. So very smart move on her part to pick up the mat and not play her last bowl, as she was lying one already. Yes, thank you, Roy. It was Facebook that the Lego Lawn Bowls League is on, but I'm not sure if it's a page or a group. Different settings that you can have on Facebook for what you're using. And he did play pretty well at the Senior Triples too, I'm told. He was an umpire in Burlington at the Majors. I think he was an umpire in Windsor at the inaugural Para Championships. And immediately after leaving Windsor, getting back to Alberta, then drove from Alberta to Victoria to play in the Canadian Senior Triples Championships. So busy guy this year. And I am sure he's going to be equally as busy next year once he gets back from his southern wintering vacations. So 3-1 Linda Ng over Rainbow Lung after 2 ends of play. Rainbow's first bowl is 2 meters through and 3 feet narrow. And Linda is also playing a good meter and a bit through and only 6 inches narrow. Rainbow's definitely adjusted the weight. Made a slight adjustment on her line too. There's a nice adjustment from Linda. Toucha, toucha. Got the flop too, so that makes this a even more difficult shot for Rainbow. She's going to need to make some sort of contact, I would believe. Drawing this off cold will be difficult. Captain Corduroy tuning in from Alberta. Team Alberta's head coach Derek Dillon watching a bit of bowls before the Young and the Restless starts. Derek, I didn't realize you were such a fan, but I also have words for you from your young prodigies, Kiera Shalo and Alexis Gallagher, who are out here to cheer on a few players. Interesting choice from Linda. That looks like a security bowl saying if you chip the jack out and it's going over here, I'm going to be sitting waiting for it. Leaving well enough alone, don't want to make that target any bigger. Rainbow's last bowl is not going to be enough to do it, but does make that margin for error a little bit smaller. If Linda wants to score 2 out of this, she's going to have to be pretty precise with her draw weight. I wasn't going to say that, Derek, because I did see them watching some of the other Albertan bowlers. Kiera was claiming she's now the head coach for Alberta since Alberta's head coach didn't want to come out here, so you might have a challenge for you next year, Derek. Shane coming in with a couple of quick chirps. Sarah's agreeing. Picked a good time to come online here, Derek. Everybody just immediately starts picking on you. Can't imagine why. After 3 ends played, 4-1 lead. So, no surprise indeed. Looking down, battle for Saskatchewan on rink 2. Lois Koss won the first set, but Janet Watson's up 4-zip after 3 here in the second one. The rink beside them, Josephine Lee won the first set and is also up 8-0 over Jillian McMurchie from Manitoba. Rink 4 beside us here, Bobby Jean Charlton handily won the first set and is still up 9-zip in the second set over Louis St. John. And over on the rink beside me, Joanna Cooper did hang on to win the first set. Jan Robinson was making quite the comeback. But Joanna did carry through to win the first set. And it looks like she's up 2-1 over Jan in this second set. Linda won that measure. Noosikins. I've seen that as your handle, Vanessa. I'm curious what it means. If you're willing and able, what is Noosikins? Sarah, you've got good eyes. She is. So here at the PIBC, they are very particular about what kind of bowling shoes are allowed on the green. As the carpet is 18 years old, they have been very, very cautious to say you have to have the flattest of flat shoes. And if they are not the flattest of flat, then you are going to need to wear booties over them, little slip-on covers. So Louise is wearing little slip-on covers just to make sure that her shoes are flat and protecting this artificial carpet that they're playing on, which is still in tremendous condition after 18 years, and it's because they are so precautious with it. But you've got good eyes, Sarah. Linda is coming up narrow again here, so Rainbow is currently holding one. We'll see if she can capitalize on that and count a few to make this a closer game. That looks narrow for her bowls, and I don't think she sent it, so not quite enough to get there or do much of anything. So opportunity is still here for Linda. If she can rest that bowl through, she could even pick up a 3. She does have best back, so she can be aggressive with this. And I think that's what she's doing. This could be close. Will it bend in time? It's trying hard. Trying hard. Got it. And got a little jack movement to bury it a bit behind Rainbow's last bowl as well. So currently 3 shots to Linda Ng right now. Beautiful bowl. Capitalizing on that opportunity. Putting the pressure on Rainbow immediately. And that looks narrow. I don't think she gave it enough weight to hold up around that. So crashing on her last bowl, meaning this will be probably 3 shots to Linda Ng, giving her a 7-1 lead here in the second set. And Sarah is just shoveling on the chirps for Derek. Pile 'em on, pile 'em on. I'm sure that he won't remember over the winter all of this chirping for the next time he sees you, Sarah, so you're in the clear. (7-1) Linda Ng after 4 ends. 5 to go. 6-point game. Linda already won the first set and is looking to clean sweep it here in straights. I'll take your word on that, Shane. I'm not ready to admit that I'm old yet. One of these days. Opening bowl here for Linda is once again a couple meters past the jack, not quite back to the center line. Seen the strategy a few times where her first bowl is well through, and I don't know if that's intentional, giving herself options for later in the end, or if she just happens to be pleasantly heavy to start each end. Rainbow's put hers in a pretty good position. 2 feet through. That zone of excellence or something like that it's called, where you're making a triangle behind the jack. The jack's the tip top of the triangle, and anything back in the triangle behind it is really an ideal situation to be in. Bingo. I suppose that could be a side benefit, Shane, of why people still bowl. It's an ego boost. And Rainbow countering. Linda had the jab, and Rainbow's jabbing right back. Roy, we are doing the same thing the rest of the week, more or less. So it'll be the second match of the day that starts around 10:45, 11 a.m. local time, something like that. Of course, I'm referring to BC time here in BC. So whenever the first game of the day finishes, we will stream the second one, and then the game after that as well. So assuming all things go on time as planned, it would be approximately 10:45 a.m. BC time, PST, I guess. 10:45 and about 1 p.m. Good afternoon, Peter Moak. How are you? Tuning in from Alberta, I would imagine. There is, in fact, lots of Alberta watching, which is interesting to have Alberta watching so much when this is the BC versus BC match. I suspect you are all trying to catch a glimpse of what's going on the rink on the right on rink 6 between Joanna and Jan. So Linda, I think, was trying to come in off of Rainbow's wing bowl, but didn't quite get it. So leaving the door open here for Rainbow to score a couple if she can draw another, use her last wing bowl there to come in down off of. If she's on the high side, she'll chip it over sideways, which is close. I don't know if that was enough, maybe. Maybe. Probably needed another roll to get that to go a little bit further. So today being Wednesday, we will do this Thursday and Friday of that 10:45, 1 p.m. back-to-back game streaming action before Saturday finals day. Estimating the medal rounds will be at 1 p.m. is my guess. Peter Moak, when you're asking our boys not doing too good, I'm not quite sure what you mean by that. Both are 3-3, which depends on what your definition of not doing too good is. I'm also assuming that when you say our boys, you're referring to John McDonald and Pat Bird. And of course, you can see the scores and standings on the Bulls Canada website. Shout out Keith Johnson for getting the scoring system up and running for us here again. Dragged him out of retirement. I forgot to add one more to Rainbow. Apologies. It is 7-3 according to the scoreboard down at the other end that the marker just updated. 4-point game, 4 ends left. putting together a nice head here between Rainbow and Linda. Getting down to the nitty-gritty. Linda's taken a few steps forward and off the mat here. A little uncharacteristic of her. Normally she's pretty consistent. Running off there might have been why that bowl didn't end up so well. Key to the game is consistency, but also consistency in your delivery and your form and your technique. You got to do the same thing over and over and over again. Beautiful bowl here from Rainbow. Wow, my goodness. Cramming together a tight head. Rainbow's coming down and taking a good look, doing the circle, and right back up she goes. I'm a big fan of that strategy of hers, where whenever she comes down, she just does a quick circle and right back up. Get the 360 look and ready to go. Yeah, you are correct there, Vanessa. There will be 2 live matches streamed today for the remainder of the event. I can see that you are following our Facebook page, Vanessa. Copy, paste, copy, paste, copy, paste. I love it. For those of you who have never been to the Pacific Indoor Bowls Club, I would highly recommend you make the trip out here because playing on these greens are a thing of beauty. At 4588 Clancy Lorimer Way in Vancouver, British Columbia. Linda Ng is coming down just a little bit narrow. Needed to hang up a little bit longer, I think. That is a tight head and a well-compacted head. Taking out one of Rainbow's bowls already. I think Rainbow's saying, yeah, it's just the one. 6 ends down, 3 ends to go. We are having ourselves a game, 3-point game now. Here in the second set. As always, if you have any questions or concerns, pop them in the chat. I am monitoring that so I can answer all of your questions as they come in. Seven 4 for Linda Ng over Rainbow Lung in the second set. Linda picked up the first set quite handily. Rink next door, Joanna Cooper's up 5-2 after 4 in the second set against Jan Robinson. And on the other side, Louise St. John has finally gotten on the board. It's now 16-1 for Bobby Jean Charlton after 6 ends in the second set. And once again, opening bowl, 2 to 3 meters past the jack. Last time it was Linda that did it. This time it's Rainbow that did it. Not sure what the strategy is like here in BC for that to be a common start, but it seems to be a thing. And leaving the door wide open, Linda is going to jump on it and put one about a couple feet past the jack. Back to the center line. Putting some pressure on Rainbow. 3-point game, 3 ends to go. This is a very crucial end for Rainbow if she wants to force a tiebreak. It is not ideal to be down 4 or more with 2 ends to go, because then you need to score 2+ the rest of the game. So I would say that this could be a deciding end for the game. We'll see who's going to capitalize on it. Linda is looking to play inside of Rainbow's, which she has, and has done it well. What a beautiful bowl. Out jack high. So the jab from Linda, we'll see if Rainbow can counter with a jab of her own. Not sure if we're in a place to throw haymakers yet, but this is a pretty good effort. Setting it up well for her last bowl. Linda's asking what's the count. Rob is saying your last bowl is still shot. Decisions here now. Definitely need to get another bowl in the head, I would think. She is sticking with the forehand, which I like. If you've just played a nice bowl, then don't think too much, just do it again. And she looks to be trying a little more weight and a little on the higher side now. So instead of drawing inside of Rainbow, she's drawing outside of Rainbows and has done it nicely as well. My goodness. 1 inside, 1 outside. Doesn't matter. Good for 2. Clutch bowl. I'm putting some pressure on Rainbow here now. And so now for Rainbow here, I think this is really a must-count end for her. She played her last few bowls in good positions, but gonna need to be even more perfect with her last one to come here. Opportunities here. She could drive at that as she has the tee covered. She could wick in off of Linda's outside bowl. She could push herself up. Lots of things to play into here as long as you're here, but because she has such a wide drawing bowl, the angles are slightly different than what other people might be used to. Did she send it? She did not. That is not going to get here to make much of a difference. So currently holding 2 to Linda Ng. I would be tempted to eat it. She's up 3. She could be up 5 after this. How much fire are you going to play with? And she is sticking to that forehand. Second bowl was inside that. Third bowl was outside those. Is her fourth one going to be outside it as well? I think so. Playing with a little bit too much pace for it to make much of a difference, but that will be 2 more to Linda Ng to give her a 9-4 5-point lead with 2 ends to go up and back. Because she won the first set, Rainbow now needs to score 3 and 3. Needs at least 6 in order to force a tiebreak. She can't just get 5 and tie the set, as a tied set is not good enough to force a tiebreaker. So Linda's very much in the driver's seat here now. The only thing you got to be thinking about is don't give up 3. Give up 2 or less. Pretty good opening bowl here from Linda, putting some pressure on, trying to put this game to bed early. Rainbow also playing on the forehand here. With her wide swooping bowl, this will be coming up narrow, but how much weight did she throw? Not a terribly weighted bowl. That's actually probably a touch shy of jack high. Linda is also playing on a narrow track. Weight is also pretty close to being jack high. And this looks like a slightly better line for Rainbow. Still gonna come across sharply, as her bowls do. Will she grab the jack with her? Yes, she will. Smattering of applause from the audience. Currently holding 1 in a look. I think it is only the 1 right now. And as we said, she needs to count 6 over the next 2 ends to force that tiebreak set. So that means either 3 and 3 or 4 and 2. So absolutely has to score at least 2 here to give herself a chance, a shot going home. And Linda right now just looking to limit her losses to 1. Coming up narrow and short on that one. So that's not going to do it, but Rainbow here, opportunity to see if she can put a second shot in and give herself a good opportunity to count 3 with her last one, but this one has to make it. Has to be good enough for a second shot. And she has done it. Beautiful bowl. Well played, holding 2. Giving herself a good opportunity here. If she can do that again with her last and score 3, she's got a shot, but Linda's asking how many. Rob's saying it's 2. Chance to drive, chance to draw. Anything into that, any sort of connection, you're not going to be any worse off. And she is playing, I would imagine, a little bit of through weight for that kind of a line, but I don't think she threw it. For that kind of a line, you need much more weight, and she did not. So leaving the door wide open here for Rainbow. Same bowl from Rainbow gives her a good chance going home. Same bowl gives her a good chance. Did she do it? The line looks okay. All in the weight from here. All in the weight from here. She has done it. Beautiful. Trifecta. Just when Linda thought she might be creeping away to score the win in the game, Rainbow punches back with a haymaker saying, not today. 1, 2. I'm assuming that was 3. Coming home. Last end, second set. I believe that would make it a 9-7 game. That's what the scoreboard says. So we got a 2-point game. Rainbow again needs a 3 or a 4 to force a tiebreak. A 2 ties the set, and that's not good enough. Since Linda won the first set, Rainbow has to win this one in order to force the tiebreak. Playing a medium length jack here. 1, 2, 3, about 4 meters up from the tee. Starting us off on her forehand. Pretty good opening bowl, putting some pressure on for the first time, and I don't know how many ends coming this way. The first bowl wasn't covering the tee several meters through the head. 2 feet behind, great position. And that's the margin for error here now for Linda. You got 2 feet to work with. She's rising to the challenge here too. Right through the port, but great effort. Linda needs 2 more like her last. This looks well on the high side. I don't know if that's going to come back. She's shaking her head. Not going to come back in time. Weight isn't bad. Weight's not terrible, but just way on the high side. So that's going to make things challenging now for her to get 3 out of this. Her next 2 need to be perfect, basically, or trail the jack a little. Opportunity here for Linda to close the door that's open. And she is coming up short, still leaving that door open. We'll see if Rainbow can make the adjustment to get her line back after that whoops wide one. I think she's coming up narrow here now. Didn't send it either. This is, yeesh. This is challenging now for her to score 3 to force a tiebreak. Yeah. Almost like Linda left the door open for her and she said no thanks. I will tell you, Roy, what the Alberta score is as soon as they both walk away from being in front of the scoreboard. I can see Jan has 3, Joanna Cooper has 6. So 6-3 Joanna over Jan. Interesting choice from Linda to go back for some coverage. Already basically had the tee covered, so I'm not quite sure what the thought process was there. Rainbow needs 3. I'm not sure how she's planning to do that. I suppose if you were to play on her backhand, ship that short one in and hopefully come with it. Punch the green through and follow. Ew. Need to get creative to score 3 here. Stick it on the forehand, which I think it means she has basically given up the game. I do not see how you're scoring 3 here this way. Tickle the jack. From my point of view, that means she's holding 2. Linda's going to come down and take a look, and I suspect if she's only given up 2, then she'll just shake hands and say good enough. Currently 9-3 for Joanna Cooper over Jan Robinson after 7, so they have up and back to go. Josephine Lee won her game over Jillian McMurtry, and Bobby Jean Charlton has just won her game over Louise St. John. The Battle of Saskatchewan is still ongoing between Lois Koss and Janet Robinson. Lois won the first set, but Janet is up 8-5 in the second set. As Linda does the finger dance to see what's going on. She is going to go down and throw it from the looks of things. Stomping and looking and humming and hawing. I would assume that a forehand draw would be all that is needed. Second shot, you win the set and the game. Another good third shot, you tie the set and you still win the game. Because tiebreakers could come into play of sets 1 and sets points, probably don't want to just tie a set. You probably want to win the set if you can. So she is looking to draw it off, and she is close. Did she send it? Very close. Well, that will definitely be the game. There is no way that Rainbow's scoring 3 on that. But was that good enough for second shot? Unsure. I think it was good enough for second shot. I am assuming that that was second shot, so I'm assuming that Linda straight setted it. At the very worst, it would have been won a set, tied a set, but that will be the game. You will be able to check the official results on the website in about 20 minutes when they get updated. That is it. That's all for me, folks. We will be back tomorrow morning at approximately 10:45 a.m. local time, BC time. Check out our website for score, standings, and results. Thanks for watching, everyone.